whose shoes are you wearing? Yours, I suppose, but are you willing to trade them for someone else's? Empathy is putting yourself into someone else's shoes, and it's becoming a problem in this world today. I care deeply about the subject of empathy because it's been brought to my attention because of hatred in this world and wars and rumors of wars, and it's been brought to my attention that a lot of it is caused by a lack of empathy. Many people suffer from empathy deficit disorder. This is a disorder where you cannot feel each other's pain. So today I want to talk about the difference between sympathy and empathy, empathy deficit disorder and its effects, and why empathy is needed in this world. So let's start by clarifying the difference between sympathy and empathy. There is a difference, by the way. Sympathy is when you merely feel sorry for someone or try to understand what they're going through. In the article Battling Empathy Deficit Disorder, located in Vertical Thought magazine, professional counselor Scott Hofker states, "Empathy is what you feel when you enter the internal world of someone else. You experience their aspirations, their worries, their emotions, their conflicts." So the difference is simple. Sympathy is your own feeling towards someone else and their problem, where empathy is when you allow yourself to feel what someone else is feeling. So the essence of empathy basically is putting yourself into someone else's shoes. Now let's continue by understanding empathy deficit disorder. Dr. LeBayer wrote in his article for the Washington Post, "Empathy deficit disorder is a condition where people are unable to step outside of themselves and tune in to what other people experience." It's basically when you cannot see through other people's eyes, so you're stuck in your own shoes. You can't see the world through someone else's point of view. And this happens because of a lot of different things. It could be attachment to money and status or power, basically being absorbed in the self parts of life to where you can't relate to others because you're so absorbed in yourself. You may ask why this is a problem. Dr. LeBayer goes on to state that it's a source of a lot of personal conflicts, whether it be relationships or attitudes towards other people or other groups of people, and ultimately hatred, because if you can't understand someone else's point of view, then it's hard to communicate with them. Now that we know what it's like when empathy is not present, let's look at why it's needed in the world. It's basically needed to make the world a better place, and that's kind of cliche, but it's true because empathy helps mental health of individuals. It helps you to be a more positive person when you can actually relate to others and understand what they're going through, and it makes you be thankful for what you're going through if you're in a good situation. Communication is huge in this world, as we all know, and if you don't have empathy, it's really hard to communicate with others because you have a hard time understanding what it's like to be them. Society today should thrive on empathy, but that's not how it is. We all know that there's a lot of stuff that goes on in this world that we don't really necessarily want to acknowledge, but hatred is everywhere, and we have to realize that. Dr. Patty Thomas, she went so far in her article about empathy in Psychology Today magazine to say that empathy is a cure for hatred. So in review, many people suffer from empathy deficit disorder. In fact, the whole world as a whole suffers from this disorder too. In summary, there's a difference between empathy and sympathy. Empathy is when you can actually give up your own feelings to understand someone else's feelings. And this world will be a better place if we all learn how to empathize a little more. So next time you're looking down at your shoes, be thankful to be in them because there's a lot of people out there suffering in their shoes in different situations. And don't hesitate to venture into someone else's shoes to make this world a better place.